morning, Tracey. How are you doing today?
I'm doing okay.
Well,
It's
I am
Thursday,
grateful to
right?
have.
It's Thursday.
Yeah, it's Thursday, almost Friday. We're almost there. And I am grateful to have this conversation with you. You started a few organizations, and I'm looking forward to learn more about each. You are an advisor and advocate for women in technology, which is a very, I would say, very difficult industry to be on. What led you to this adventure? I mean, like this amazing adventure, actually.
Adventure is a fabulous word for this. It really started when I started working at Skylight Systems. I hadn't been in tech before. I've been in more of the retail side of sales and marketing, consumer based. And heading to Skylight, which became Chariot Solutions, was the first time that I really worked in a technology forward company. Being, part of previous, as I was in all of these, more consumer based arenas, I was working with either, more women focused or women dominated fields, or, pretty well mixed in terms of genders. But coming into technology, it was pretty obvious that there was a definitely skewing towards the male population. So it got me curious as to why this had occurred. I've always been a proponent of women who choose to, continue to work outside the home. And I wanted to see, have an understanding of why there weren't more women who were gravitating towards tech. And we have to remember this was early 2000s. So it's a bit ago. But once I got into the tech sphere, I was like, wow, I get to work with really, really smart, interesting people. I get to learn, about different industries. There's a flexibility, even well before remote work was, widely accepted. Flexibility to the schedule, and the money was good. So,
Ooh.
right. So, like, why aren't we seeing more women there? And that's really where it started.
So why do you think there's more women there?
Oh, there's a lot of history here. So, and unfortunately, we're still not fixing the problem as much as I would like to see. But I mean, if you go way back in the time machine, especially if you've seen Hidden Figures, um, you and you did some, little bit of Googling and Wikipedia searching, you would find that in the early days of computer science, it was seen as women's work.
Huh.
Yes. So something, and that didn't really change until around the mid 80s. If you take a look at some of the research that Tracy Chow, Chou, who had been an engineer over at Pinterest, started to do and bring to light around the 80s, mid 80s, when gaming became more popular, and personal computers were coming into people's houses, there was a switch that started to happen where if you look at the ads, it's young men who were,
Interesting.
yes. So it used to, back in the early 60s, mid 50s, it was computational work. It was seen as secretarial. And if you remember that scene in Hidden Figures where they're all in the back room
Yes.
before the mainframes come through,
Yes, I remember that.
it was women's work. So, highly interesting. So we start thinking about cultural bias of women can't be smart, they can't be pretty, You can't be smart and pretty.
Pretty.
Um, Women working outside, outside the home is another issue. But if you were smart, there was no way, you were married. Of course, if we're looking at Hidden Figures, that wasn't the case. But there were still a lot of hoops for women to go through college, any of the STEM fields. The bias that was against women was great in all those STEM issues and fields. So that's part of where some of this issue of women not going into these fields start. Now, if we just look at the T in STEM, because that's where I can speak of most. Of course, for those that don't know what STEM is, just so it's science, technology, engineering, and math. And they are separate fields. Sometimes we're seeing a little bit more of a crossover now, but they're separate fields of study. So if you don't have a lot of people that you see, like yourself, entering that field, then you don't think that that's a field for you. So it becomes almost a self-fulfilling prophecy there. So one of the things that I wanted to do with TechGirlz was to present, people who were in the field that didn't all look like what at that point, we're looking at, the 2010s and teens, the young white male in a hoodie. Not everybody looks like that in the field, but those were the ones that we were seeing. So we have a cultural bias, and then we have a media bias. And then, we also have, this understanding if you don't know people who are in the field, you're not seeing those people and those possibilities. So it's a lack of understanding. And if you really take a look at the numbers of where women matriculate after or start careers or matriculating into college, we're still in, these are still good fields. I don't want to downplay them, but paralegals, teachers, and nursing.
Nursing. Yeah. I think even as a kid, I remember most parents would always push their kids to be a nurse or a doctor or something
Because that's what
like
they
that.
know.
Yeah.
Right? That's what they know as well, because they don't know people who are in the tech field. Now, what has changed really over the last 20 years, and especially the last 10, and something that we talk about a lot, is that with almost every job has some tech aspect to it.
That's true.
Right? So, and technology is not just about software development, which is, I think, another misnomer. People, if they were asked, what is technology? Oh, it's developing software. But it's being able to use technology like we are doing right now. We're on our computers.
Yes.
We had to know how to click on a link. You have to set this up with this tool. This is technology.
For sure, yes.
When I started in marketing, there was really no tech aspect to what we do. Now, so much of what we do in marketing has a technology aspect to it. So sort of changing how we view who is a technologist and how we describe ourselves, I think, is also something that needs to be reset.
I agree with you on that. But do you think that there's something that we can do, us as women, to be able to push more women to get into technology again?
So I think it is important that if you are working in a field that uses any form of technology, that you are talking about what you do. Is really important. And, role models and descriptions of what we do. Are you excited about what you do? on a daily basis. I am. So I
For
want to tell
sure.
other people.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to make sure that I want to see more women understanding what the possibilities are. So it's important for us to be out there. Those of us who are in the field to be out there talking about what we do, volunteering to show what we do, and to really embrace the fact that if we are using technology in our jobs, that, we are technologists.
I love that part.
So part
That's
of it
true.
is how this generation accepts ourselves and what we do, and how we are messaging to generations beneath us.
And we are the only one that's actually can help make that change, because if we let the next generation to stay in that BS, believing that they can't do this or they can't do that, and that's not the field, then it's going to be another problem that they will need to deal with.
Exactly. The other thing that I think is important is not just women who need to be out there discussing this. We have allies who are not women who can
True.
who can also, champion um, for women who are in the field to make sure that they are getting, the opportunities that should be presented to them, but also, making sure that they have opportunities to volunteer and describe what's happening in their field, and why they're excited to be working in it, and why they think there's lots of opportunity for everybody, no matter what they look like.
Exactly. That part right there.
Right?
It's available. It doesn't matter who you are with the culture or anything like that. It's available for you. Yes.
Correct. The cultural piece is difficult. I think there's only so much that we can do, but um, if we continue to be out there talking about, what we do, why it's good, why we can be accepted as, uh, you know, credible technologists, and I think that's really important. The other thing that I think is something that we should talk about is how much you can make in this field,
Ooh.
right? So I also want to talk to women who are considering or thinking about upskilling, and then those that are learning what the money potential is here. You can like your job and you can make money. So there's economic power that is associated with these type of fields.
And I think we all need that actually to be able to take care of our family and still love what you do.
Exactly.
Win-win
So
situation.
so those are messages that I think we just need to continue to talk about.
And I think you are doing a great job at it. And you founded a few different companies that can actually help out as well. So that get me to you are the co-founder and CMO of I'm not sure if I'm saying the name properly. Chariot Solutions, is that how you say it?
Chariot Solutions, right?
Chariot
So
Solutions. So
we
can you tell
are
us about the firm?
Sure. So I'm one of the early founders. There were a group of 10 of us that started the company. We just turned 20, so we're very
Oh,
excited about that.
congratulations!
I
Yay!
know, right? So we do software consulting, software development and consulting for all different types of companies. So on staff, we have, again, some of the smartest people I've ever had the pleasure of working with, who are helping companies develop better software and better products for for their end users. So we like to call ourselves the secret sauce for a lot of different companies. And it's been really an amazing journey and understanding that we've been able to help these companies while providing a really good environment work environment, and also, sustaining the number of people that have worked with us over the years.
Wow. Do you guys, or do you, with that company, is it only focused with corporations or also small businesses or medium
So I
businesses?
think we do need to define what a small business. We do work with startups. We do work with what would be termed, I guess, a smaller business, medium size. So it really just depends. When we're in like a corporate, like a large, like a Fortune 10 or Fortune 50 company, we're usually working within a division.
Mm-hmm.
So even that can be, a division can be sort of termed a small business
That's true.
within a larger corporation.
Great.
Um, our team works on, complex business challenges that need technology solutions.
Okay, that's but within that company, would you say that you've seen more women getting involved, or would you say it's a 50-50?
It's definitely something that we're working on. We've the team has recognized that we want to bring on more women, and just diversity within our own company. We continue to be out there working to spread knowledge and to make sure that there's an understanding of how do we bring in more women, and non-traditional technology workers, helping them learn so that they can one day work within Chariot, and we're seeing more potential. Trying to think of this part. We can edit this part as I'm
Yes.
stumbling over my words. Good. So we're going to edit this part, but we would like to see more diversity come through our pipeline. But I would say that there's more junior and mid-level developers that we're seeing out in the community. So we want to make sure that we're supporting their growth journey.
Absolutely. And I think that's you also you being a founder and then say that, hey, there's a problem here and we need to solve it. Let's go out and then start looking and let them know that, hey, we are here, we can help you, we can open the door for you. I
Right.
think that's very important, and I appreciate that as a businesswoman, and that's actually advocate my time to support other women. So thank you.
And I think it's important that, like I said, there are allies that are out there, and we consider ourselves allies to this issue, and we want to be, talking about it and making, creating awareness. I think is really important.
Exactly. So you also the founder of TechGirlz. What is it about, and how does it help girls?
So TechGirlz came about. I guess it's like 13 years already.
Wow.
Yeah. So TechGirlz came about because I was looking at this issue early on at Chariot and seeing that we weren't seeing women in the pipeline, and did some research and had this understanding that girls were dropping out of technology, thought processes as a career around ninth grade. So we focus on middle school girls, and we're
Hmm.
also using people in the tech industry to be their teachers. So the idea around TechGirlz was we're going to create curricula that'll make it easier for people in the technology industry to be able to give back, because we're going to give them the tools, and then we're also going to
Right.
create the community so that these people who wanted to give back had the audience. So bringing those two groups together has been, just an amazing thing. About 3 years ago, 3.5 years ago, TechGirlz was acquired by a larger nonprofit, Creating IT Futures, which is part of a company called CompTIA. Creating IT Futures actually was just renamed to CompTIA Spark, and they're part. TechGirlz is part of CompTIA Spark's mission to spark love of technology.
Aww.
So, there's more, they have more resources than I ever did. And we were excited to hand off the growth of TechGirlz to what has now come to Spark.
Wow, this is amazing. You're starting this 13 years ago and be able to pass it on for another organization to continue the journey. What have you been to lately? So, what inspired you to start a journal My Health?
This is really interesting. Journal My Health is based on my own experience as somebody who has a chronic condition. And I think this is what's interesting is we would talk to the TechGirlz to say, if you're looking to start a business or work for a company, sometimes it's about what you know. And then how are you going to bring that to life? So Journal My Health was, again, based on my journey with a chronic issue and understanding that there was something missing for patients who had complex issues that were happening to them. They were dealing with a lot of doctors and other healthcare providers, plus all the information that they're dealing with from the medications they're using and understanding their symptoms, and that people who are patients hold
Right.
a lot of information which can help them feel better. May not be about diagnosis, but we hold clues that we can use to help our healthcare providers. So it was about how are we capturing that information. Now, I had this idea 15 years ago. And at that point, it got put to bed because I started TechGirlz. But after the pandemic started, there was some time that, and Chariot has helped me build the product. We had a little bit of time to research and see that a lot of the information I had pulled 15 years ago, 14 years ago was still pretty much the same. But what was different was the smartphone came into existence. And now not only is it in existence, there's more information that you can pull. And so what we were trying to do is not only have you as a patient, as a person, input information, but also draw from different sources that live on your phone or live on your wearable devices, because all of that data tells a piece of your story of what's happening to you on a daily basis. And your symptoms are an indication of what's happening to your body, but the symptoms are not always telling, what is the exact issue that's happening.
Sure.
It's just part of indication. So by bringing in what we term data that's siloed on your phone or in other places, we bring in some information such as weather. Weather is highly impactful on people who have chronic issues. So we can now combine data that you say about yourself, like, did you get a lot of sleep last night? Or are you stressed? Talking about your symptoms. And then we can combine it with what is happening with the weather. And we want to have people learn some insights about themselves so that they can help themselves, help their doctors. And it's really about creating better health outcomes. And those health outcomes are sometimes as small as knowing that, in my instance, that when we have high humidity, I know that I'm going to be in a world of hurt. And what can I do to make myself feel better? And knowing that helps me take preventative measures. I will take, an Advil or Tylenol. And that's usually something that will make me feel a little bit better. And that's a better health outcome for me.
Exactly. So do you also use a journal My Health?
Of course I do. Now, even though I'm further down my story, I'm not dealing with doctors all the time in the way that I had been at the start. I call myself in maintenance mode. there's still times where I really need to have an understanding of what's happening, because a lot of us who have chronic issues, we have flares. So it's, intense times where our symptoms start to rear their little ugly heads, and, having an understanding, and your body changes and circumstances changes. So being able to track that information is something that, is important to my health.
It will be to me for me too. So, would you say that with my journal, my health, can the patient share that information with the doctor? Is there a way for the doctor to get that information? How does it works exactly?
Thank you so much for throwing that question over, because sometimes I forget about that. So we have an easy way to share the reports. So we create these reports, and those reports can be create a PDF, and then you can easily send that out to any healthcare provider or anyone in your healthcare circle.
So, who create that PDF? Is it like an AI automatically creating it, or is it the patient creating it for
The
themselves,
patient would
requesting
create
it?
it for them, would create it, so that way they can download it, they can send it off, and we're still in the early stages of what we can do with this reporting, but it is reports that you can share with your doctor or bring to your appointment, and then hopefully two can review. One of the other things that we think is really important is bridging this, what we term a communication gap between your healthcare provider and yourself. You do speak different languages. There's medical terms, and
Mm-hmm.
how do you describe what's happening in a way that your doctor's going to be able to understand? And sometimes you're able to see some trends that are happening, that we're going to chart and create graphs, so that you'll have that information that is organized for an easy conversation to showcase. Like I was saying, humidity and joint pain for me. Now I can actually have that uh, data in a visualized format, and that's one of the things that I'd like to bring up around Journal My Health. Not that it was created with women in mind, and I didn't realize this when my two worlds kind of collide, but women in general suffer from more chronic conditions than men do. And even autoimmune issues, there's 100 different autoimmune issues. 80% of the people who have an autoimmune issue are women.
Wow.
They're hard to diagnose, and being able to track and have real world evidence is really, something that can help have those conversations with your healthcare provider.
So, how does the privacy work for with Journal My Health? Does it the data share anywhere else, or just the patient have access to the data and that's where it stays? And the company itself doesn't share anything with anyone else.
So we de-identify, so I can't see an individual person's information. We de-identify that and create an aggregate report. So I'll see, I can see how many people uh, put in entries on a day, what that group, what the aggregate of those entries are.
But you
Um,
can't see the entry itself. Love
Correct.
it.
I can't see the entry itself. We're trying to, at this point, really be respectful of the demographic information that we are taking. We just added a username and password. Um, some of our, some of our users were a little upset about that, but we need username and password so that if they lose their data, we're able to actually, bring that back in.
Back.
So we're trying to be very respectful of the data privacy issues that are certainly out there.
Yes. And I think that's taking that level as well. It's important because me, myself, if I'm using the app, I want to make sure that my information, what I'm entering, it's not going to be sharing with anyone else that I don't want it to share with.
Correct. Right. Right.
So, what are the main biases women are facing today in tech?
I'm sorry. Could you repeat that?
What are the main biases, like the main issues women are facing today in tech?
I think that they're kind of the same that they have been for a while. It's, lack of the cultural awareness that women can do this. Although I think that's gotten better within the industry. We certainly face issues post pandemic with if we do have children, um, childcare issues, home,
Sure.
work life balance. Those have not changed. In fact, they've probably gotten more acute, even though you can work from home. Um, so that's certainly an issue. And I also I like to have a discussion around how women view themselves, and
Hmm.
I think that we have to have an understanding that as women, um, we should ask for more. Um, we should ask for more when we're negotiating our salaries, when we're looking for jobs, when we're looking for champions within companies. Um, and we should know that we're capable. So it's not only having the world understand that we're capable, but also, I want to make sure that women understand that if they are in a tech industry job right now, and I was saying this pre-pandemic, but it's definitely even more so now. Um, if you don't like where you're at, you should move on because there's lots of companies that are hiring. You want to look at your values and where you want to be, whether it's salary, whether it's more vacation time, whether it's the type of work, whether it's position, a higher position. These are things that women should be taking a look at.
We should definitely, because why a man is capable of saying, you know what, I don't know a lot of things about this position. I'm going to apply for it and I'm going to ask for what I deserve and I'm going to learn at the job. But compared to us, we're like, well, we don't know how to do that. We don't know. We can definitely do. Yeah, I know a little bit, but I'm not good enough to go do it. I think, yeah, that's too much money. I should ask for less, so they can give it to me. I think we like to underprice ourselves, underappreciate ourselves, and then I think it's wrong. We shouldn't.
I love how you say underappreciate ourselves. I haven't heard that term used, and I think that's a key. We underappreciate what we bring to the world.
Yes, we do. I don't know why, but we like to do that, and I think it's come from generation to generation, just keep on passing on. And I think our generation should make it stop into it. We don't need
I
to keep moving
Yes,
with all these things that just because our aunt sisters was doing it. We can stop it and we can make the difference. We can make the change.
I totally agree with you. I will couple that though that even though I'm saying that we need to speak up, there is a cultural discussion to be had about women who are strong and confident and how we are seen.
Hmm.
Words that are attached to us when we ask for things, which I'm not going to say those words, but they're derogatory. So, I think that also needs to change. That's something that we need to be cognizant of.
Yes, we do. So, Tracy, being in a male dominated industry, what are the top issues you face starting all three companies?
uh, well, I think in general, part of it is some of the things that I said about my own self. I had a lack of confidence. I didn't think that I, you second guess yourself. Um, it's been a journey to understand the power that I have within myself and what I'm able to do. Um, I think that there is there is a way that I felt like I had to present myself being in a room full of men. I've stopped that. Either you're going to accept me for who I am, or you're not, and let's move on. But I'm also older and wiser. So, I think that's a change in myself. And right now I feel like with Journal My Health, I just have a different mindset. I'm willing to listen to people more, take their feedback. I'm confident in the skills that I bring to the table. And some people are going to understand that and some people are not. And I'm okay with those that don't always get me.
I don't think everyone will get you. Just like you can't make everyone happy in this world. God can. Why do you think that we can? We can't.
Right, exactly. So it's okay. Not everyone's a personality fit with you. And that's when you start choosing who the people that are going to help you achieve your goals.
Exactly. And the one that want to pull you down, usually I say just leave them behind and keep on moving forward because you don't need them around you because they don't want you to get anywhere.
What I will add a little caveat to that. What I have learned is that even with some of that negativity that comes with that type of person that you just said, I do listen to some of their objections. There's always a nugget to store. You may not agree with everything that they're saying, but when somebody gives you some negative or what you feel is negative advice, store it away. See if you're getting that, if there's a pattern that's happening so that you're not totally ignoring that piece of advice. There's always something to be learned from every interaction that you have.
Yes, I agree with that. But I think where I was going with mine is more like the people that you just have around that never find anything good with you at all in life.
Correct. You're just,
whatever you do is bad.
Correct. Or, they don't understand what you're doing, whether that is based on your gender or, some other factor. And that's okay.
Yes, it is.
Not everyone's going to.
Yeah, exactly. So with everything you have been doing, you are a very busy lady. I just want to put that out there. So what's next? Or do you have any other plan to start a new company? Because I know there's something there.
No. So Journal My Health is, the new company. So we've got a lot of work on that. I've got to raise some money. We need to get our first paying customer. So there's a lot more work to do. And we also want to be out there talking about patient advocacy and patient empowerment. I think that those are important topics for us to be talking about, especially with what's happening in the healthcare industry. So, that's enough. I hope that while I'm out there, I'm also role modeling for women who have ideas and aren't, feel like they can't start a business. I hope that I'm role modeling. It doesn't matter what age you are. I think that's important.
Yes. It is, and also one thing that you say you need the company needs to get the first paid client. So I want to kind of take you back. So is it right now you're allowing people to join for free?
Right. So we have currently we are out in both the Apple and Play Store. Check us out at Journal My Health. Thanks for the little plug I'm able to do. It is a free app. We've been out there for a little over a year. I'm very excited with the growth that we've been able to achieve and the learnings that we're able to get from our customers. And I so appreciate all the feedback that we get. We have 2 business models that we're going to be, we're looking to go out with. And we do have our first pilot that's out there to prove out one of the business models. So we're looking for healthcare companies that understand the value of a good patient experience. And we are going to use our technology and allow them to use it for their customers.
And are you going to charge the
We're going to
healthcare
charge the
providers?
businesses. We're going to charge the businesses.
I like
Yeah.
where you're going with that.
We are looking on the consumer side to do a premium subscription. One of the things that you realize is that for most people, the free version is what they need. Right. What we're now beginning to discover is there's a group of people who have certain needs, and not everybody's going to need that. So, I think that there's room for us to have a subscription for that smaller group of people, and they can choose. We're going to continue to have the free model out there and make sure that the majority of what is needed for, all clients is in that free model. But not everybody needs those bells and whistles.
Okay, so if you actually need the extra, I'm taking extra features that will be in there,
Correct.
then you will need to pay for the pool. And then if you're okay where you are with the free, it's okay. That will never change. It's yours to use for the rest of your life.
Correct.
Love it.
That's certainly not a new model.
No, not at all.
Not at all. So we're not putting anything out there that isn't existing. The key is making sure that we are not putting things behind the paywall that are important for, the 80% of the people who are out there.
You're thinking about the people first before anything else, before you put the money. I guess what I'm saying is what I like is the fact that you're putting the people first, not the money. Compared to some other organization, they put the money first and they put the people second. So I think your customers should appreciate that.
I can only hope so. And I think that we're creating, a product that is thinking about the patients first, the users, the end user, and how they're interacting with the software and the application. And then if we're able to have other companies understand, companies that can pay for this, that they understand that that's the value that we're bringing to them, is this consumer-based product that has been road tested so that they're getting the engagement that they're looking for to give to their end customers.
You know what I think? I think most people will go with the premium, with the pro, though, because they've been using it and they know how it's helped them in their life, and why not take that chance and then investing in something that's actually been investing in you.
Well, I hope that you're right. That's what's happening most likely in Q1. So we hope that the plan is in 2023 that we will have revenue streams coming from consumer model as well as from the business model, from business side clients.
I think you will. So for someone to download the app, so they just have to go to either the Apple Store or they go to Google Store and they just type Journal My Health and then it will pop up and that's it.
And then they just download it. Yep.
Okay. Very easy, simple and easy. And are you planning on doing this for any type of health issue, or is it right now it doesn't matter what type of health issue you're dealing with?
So we are we're built to be customized for any type of health issue, but we are really looking right now, especially on the consumer side, to help those 20 million women who have autoimmune issues better tell their health stories to their healthcare providers, because it's such a large cohort. We even though we're not a femtech product, we believe that the way that we are capturing or allowing people to capture their information will help them in that way. But we are, we're listening to our customers, especially around like the additions. Like one of the things that people have asked for recently on a consistent basis is we need to add blood pressure. So, yeah. So we're going to listen to that, and that's on our product roadmap.
No pressure. I think I think if I ever have to join the app itself, I think my first request will be, can you add where I can put my weight?
That has been a discussion. We're trying to figure out how much demographic info we need to take, but that could be part of where our upload is.
Tracey, I love what you are doing, and I think that putting people first is something that's important, and then that's what you have been doing. You put people first before anything else, and you're putting women first, and for me, that is super important as well, because we need to keep moving forward in creating that path for women. So whatever people say to you or they try to bring you down, don't worry about it, because there's women out there that's supporting what you are doing, and I'm one of them.
I will call you.
Don't worry, just call me. I'll fix it for you.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. This was a great interview.
Yes, it was. One last question for you before I let you go. What is your message for women in tech?
The opportunity is unlimited. So just take that and go forward.
Thank you. Nothing else to say. Thank you, Tracey, for your time, and thank you for sharing your knowledge and also giving us more information about Journal My Health. And then I hope people go and download it and use it, and supporting your cause as well, because what you are doing is important, and we need to support you so you can keep supporting other women. I appreciate your work.
Thank you so much. Thanks for your time today.